I'm going to show you how to design this business flyer with Adobe Illustrator. Please stick around to the very end because I'm going to do this step by step. This video is brought to you by Dennis and CorelDRAW. More about that later in this video. If this is your first time here, welcome. What we do here is to help graphic design beginners level up their skills. So if Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator and understanding the business side of graphic design interests you, consider subscribing. So with that said, let's jump right in. So once you open up Adobe Illustrator, this is what you see, and what you want to do next is to create a new document. So for you to create a new document, all you have to do is to click on create new. So once you click on create new, this dialog box pops up, and the next thing you want to do is to click on web to set your preset details. Now why I like using web is the fact that web comes with RGB color. If you click on print, it comes with CMYK color, and I don't like working with CMYK. I prefer designing with RGB and later changing my colors to CMYK if I'm to print it. So I'm going to select web and then click on my preset details where I can change the file name. You can change the file name to whatever you want here, and then next thing you want to do is to set your dimension. But at this point I'm not going to set anything here. I will leave the document just the way it is. You're going to set the artboard later. All you have to do is to make sure your color mode is at RGB and your raster effect is 300 ppi, and with that you are good to go. Hit on create, and then once you click on create, it opens up this canvas where you can start designing. But you don't have to rush because we are not done yet. You have to set your size to A5 so you can actually start designing, because we are designing a flyer. So let's set the size. So I'm going to click on Shift O on my keyboard. Once you press Shift O on your keyboard, you'll be able to edit your artboard. So to edit your artboard, hold Shift and O. Or if you can't do that, you click on the artboard tool just down here, and the shortcut is Shift O. Click on that and you are able to edit your artboard. So once you click on that, you'll be able to see this panel where you'll be able to select your preset. Yeah, and if your workspace does not look like mine, all you have to do is to go to Windows and go to where we have the workspace, and you go to where we have essentials. You see essential classic. So all you are going to do, I'm using essential classic, so all you are going to do is to click on reset essentials classic, and then your workspace is going to look like mine. And really quick, I'm doing this design with Adobe Illustrator 2021. So if you are not using the same version with me, you are going to need to update and use a good version just like this one, or you just do what I showed you now, reset essentials classic. So let's continue. So once you are done with that, you're going to click on select preset and set your size to A5. Okay, now Adobe Illustrator does not have a default A5 size, so what we are going to do is to use A4 to get the A5 size. Let's just do that. So I'm going to click on A4, and once we get A4, you know, half of A4 is A5. Okay, so you hold on the side here, drag it to where you have center. So at the point where you see that note showing center, at that point you leave. So half of A4 we have A5, and once we are done with that, we are good to go. So next thing we are going to do is to create the curves I'll be using for this flyer, and I'll be using the pen tool to do that. Okay, let's activate the pen tool. You can simply press P on your keyboard to activate the pen tool, or you click on the pen tool just around here. So you click somewhere here, just follow my steps, click somewhere here, and then take this, click on this other side, take it upwards a little, and then the pen tool always wants to create curves. So you take this other one upwards just like that, and somewhere around here will be perfect. So you click on this angle just around here, and that looks cool. Click around there and then bring it back, and once you click again, you have a straight line. So you bring it back to this angle and click and drag to this other direction. So you get something related to this. It may not be the exact same thing, but something close to this. Just try and get a curve that looks like this. So you bring this other one to this direction, and you can take this upwards a little, and then you take it to the very first node we created here and click, and then you get something that looks like this. Okay, so that's just that. And then I want you to understand something. Take your eyes down to where you have the fill color and the stroke. Okay, so what we have here is white as the fill color and black as the stroke. That's why the shape has a white fill and a black stroke. Okay, so for you to change that, you can click on where you have swap fill and stroke. When you click on swap fill and stroke, you can swap the black color to become the fill and the white color to become the stroke. But then we are going to take off the stroke, so you click on the stroke and click on none. Okay, so when you click on the stroke, you activate the stroke comes to the top. Okay, so you click on none, and then once you click on none, this shape does not have any stroke again. Okay, so I guess you have learned something from that. So next thing I'm going to do is to give it a kind of gradient feel. I want to give this a gradient feel. So to give it a gradient feel, you click on your gradient, and once you click on your gradient, you can click on the gradient tool first, but it all depends on you. I'm going to click on my gradient here. Once you click on gradient, if you don't see your gradient here, you go to Windows, and when you go to Windows, you will have gradient. Okay, so you click and activate your gradient, or you press Ctrl F9 to bring up the gradient panel. Okay, so you click on this gradient here to bring it up. Now it's affecting the outline because the outline is at the top. So what you're going to do is to click on none to take it off, and click on your fill to bring your fill to the top. And once you click on your fill, it brings the fill to the top, and then you can now add your gradients. So you click on gradient and you click on gradient here, and it activates that. So next thing we're going to do is to double click here. I want to use this RGB black, so I'll click on my RGB black here, and then click on the other side where we have white and give it red. So if you don't want to do that way, you can always edit your gradient on this other side as well. It's all the same. Okay, so once you do that, it gives you something that looks like this, and you can always click on reverse gradient to reverse your gradient to this other way around. Okay, so I'm going to expand my gradient like that, shift it backwards, take the sliders, so you can take the sliders back because I want to have more red than black. Okay, the brand I'm actually designing for has a brand color which is red and black, so I'm trying my very best to work with red and black. Okay, and really quick, I'd like you to know that the concept I use in this flyer is not a must that you must use for this same company or something like this, but you can always use it to design for any other brand or something related to this. Just understand the concept and apply them to your designs in Adobe Illustrator. So next thing I'm going to do is to duplicate this particular shape here. So you hold Alt. When you hold Alt, you click and drag, and you are able to duplicate shapes like this in Adobe Illustrator. And next thing I'm going to do is to take the shape, just take it very close to the very first shape, and you get something like this. So you hold on E on your keyboard, click on E on your keyboard, and when you click on E, you are able to activate the free transform tool. So it brings up these tools where you see here, and what you're going to do is to hold Shift on your keyboard, take your cursor to where you have this particular angle here, and it changes to this icon. Then you can hold Shift, okay, so you remain on a straight line, and take it downwards a little. So when you take it downwards a little, this is what you get. Okay, and then you observe that this is overlapping. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to take off some parts of this shape. I'm going to select both shapes and activate my shape builder tool. So with the help of my shape builder tool, I'm going to hold Alt. When you hold Shift Alt, okay, sorry about that, and then Alt minus. Okay, so Alt will delete this side. So what we have now is just this and this. So that's the help of shape builder tool. Shape builder tool helps to take off some part of your shape and also add some part of your shape, bring shape together, weld them together, whatever. That is just what shape builder tool does. So now we have this shape and this other shape here. So what I'm going to do is to click on the shape below, and then click on my gradient tool and rotate this gradient. Or if you don't want to do that, you can click on your gradient fill panel again and click on reverse gradient. So when you click on reverse gradient, this is what you get. So you can adjust your sliders again and make sure the red is more than that of the black, and adjust this way. So this is what you get, something related to this. So if you are at this point, then you're getting it right. And really quick, if I'm too fast, okay, a lot of people complain I'm always too fast when I'm making my tutorials, I want you to know that there is a function on YouTube that you can adjust the playback speed and make it slow. You can adjust the playback speed and make it slow till it fits what you actually want. Okay, so you can slow down my speed by adjusting the playback speed just on the YouTube screen. You can check it out for yourself. So let's continue the tutorial. So when you're at this point, I should let you know that the greater part of this design is done. So next thing we are going to do is to use our pen tool and create another shape. So you're going to create the shape and overlap it with what we have created already. So you click just around here. If this confuses you, you can always change swap fill, because we are actually having a fill here. Swap the fill to an outline, so we have an outline like this. So you click and move out of this shape like that. Click and move out like that. Okay, so you take it to this other node. So that is what we get. At this point, we are actually creating the shapes. Okay, we're actually creating the shapes for this particular design. Okay, so that's it. And for that, I'm going to swap the fill again, because we are actually done with what we actually wanted. So I'm going to swap the fill. You swap it like that. So this is what we get. You can change the color to whatever you want. I don't mind. I'm going to use gray. So send it to the back. To send it to the back, you press Ctrl and left square bracket. You keep pressing it till it goes to the back. Okay, so that's what we get. And at this point, I can say, yeah, we are almost done. So I'm going to open up my layers panel. If you don't have your layers panel, just like what I have here, you can always set your layers panel to whatever you want. So this is what we get. Okay, I want to name my layers now, so you know that Adobe Illustrator works with layers as well. So if you don't have your layers, you can come to Windows and you have where you have layers here. If you don't have it, you press F7 and it comes up. So you activate your layers here. So I'm going to name these shapes. Okay, shapes. That's just the what I get. So I'm going to add another layer, but I'm going to name this particular layer text. Okay, so whatever I'm going to do about everything about text will be on the text layer. Now, one thing about Adobe Illustrator is every layer has its own color. Okay, so the shapes layer has a blue color around here, and the text layer has a red color around here. So once I want to add my text, I'm going to come to the text layer to do that. Okay, so for the shapes, this is what we have. Everything I've done here is inside the shapes layer. Okay, so I'm going to bring in the pictures I have for this design, and I'm going to link up all the resources I use for this flyer in the description, so you can download it and use it for your own design. Okay, so let's proceed. Then I'm going to open up where I have my pictures and bring it into Adobe Illustrator. Okay, so I'm going to bring in the very first picture here, which I'm going to use as my main picture, and it comes to the shapes layer. Okay, very good. Bring it down, reduce it, scale it down. Now, to scale pictures in Adobe Illustrator, hold Shift and Alt to do that. Okay, so you maintain a perfect size. Shift and Alt to do that. If you're using a Mac, you can hold Shift and Option to do that. Okay, so it falls inside the shapes layer. Just as you can see here, the stuff here is a linked file. So one thing you should understand about Adobe Illustrator is the fact that once you import an image in Adobe Illustrator, it comes as a linked file. Okay, so which means it is linked with your PC. If you delete that picture off your PC, it's going to delete itself automatically from Adobe Illustrator. Okay, but if you embed this image in Adobe Illustrator, you can't lose it. Okay, even if you change the folder location, you can't lose it. And if you need more explanation about this, you're going to watch my video on getting started with Adobe Illustrator, which I'm going to link in the description, so you can check it out, or you click on the card just here. Okay, here. Okay, right here. Then you click on that and then watch everything you need to know about Adobe Illustrator. I made a dedicated video on Adobe Illustrator, so most of the things I'm saying, you're going to learn it there. But with that said, let's just continue. So I'm going to embed that, click on embed, and then it is linked. It's no more a linked file, okay? It's now an image in Adobe Illustrator. So I'm going to place it just here, click on this, and click on your left, align to the left and align to the top, okay? So you can always set your Adobe Illustrator to have these alignments. If you don't have it, Windows and align, okay? Shift F7, yeah, will give you that. So Windows and align, then you can reduce that. Hold Shift, reduce this till it matches that. Then you press Control, page down to send it to the back. Now I want to add a clipping mask. So I want to clip this image with this gray shape we created here, okay? So that's just that. It's very easy, okay? So you must send the image to the back. That's how Adobe Illustrator works. Hold Control, left square bracket, send it to the back, and then you're going to hold Shift, select the gray shape. So you have selected the two items I want to clip the image with. So you press Control 7, okay? So Control and 7 helps you to clip images with a shape. So it's just the same thing in CorelDRAW when you want to power clip images in a shape. That's how it works here. So that's the same thing I did here, okay? So I want to change this image to grayscale, okay? I want this image to appear in gray because it's actually colored. So what you're going to do is to right click and click on isolate selected clipping mask. Now if I rasterize this image to grayscale on this particular level, it's going to rasterize with the shape itself. Notice that this item is inside the shape and this is the shape, okay? So the shape and the image is different. If I rasterize, let me just do an example and show you so you see what I mean. You go to objects, you go to rasterize and grayscale transparent, okay? So observe that if you rasterize that, it rasterizes itself with the shape, so the shape is no more, and that's not what I want to see. When you rasterize with the shape, I'm just showing you this because you may encounter this error maybe when you are designing with Adobe Illustrator. But if you don't want to encounter such error, what you're going to do is you press Ctrl Z, go back to where you came from, okay? So you click on the image, right click and click on isolate selected image, okay? So now you have isolated again. Let me go back to the top. So you're going to close, back one level again, back. So we are at the top of the design. So what you are going to do is to click on the shape where you have the item you want to rasterize, right click, isolate selected clipping mask first, and then click on the image itself, right click, and then click isolate selected image. Now the image is on its own, so you can edit, do anything you want to do with the image, okay? So I can move the image around without moving every other stuff. The shape is not with it. So when you click on the image, you go to object, you go to rasterize, you see where you have grayscale, transparent, and every other stuff can be left at default. Click on OK. Don't forget to make your resolution 300 so you won't lose your quality, okay? Hit on OK and it converts itself to grayscale. So then you go back to back one level and then it closes itself, so you are now on the aspect of the shape. So you still have your shape and your image, then you go back again where you have the shape, and then you go back again, so you're actually at the top of the design this time around. So that is just what we wanted, okay? So that's it. Let's close this particular shapes layer, and then we're going to create another layer. Click on the create new layer. Now you see it has a green color because we now have a new layer where I'm going to make this logo, okay? I'm going to place the logo on this layer. So I'm going to bring in the textures logo, which is actually the brand I'm designing for. Click on embed to embed that and reduce this, place it around here. Very good. And then hit on your horizontal align center, and it aligns itself to the center of the design. You can bring it down a little, reduce the little, okay, that is good. Bring it down a little. Now I'm doing this for the fact that we need to be careful of our trim marks, okay? Now there's one thing you need to understand about flyer designs which I did not tell you. Whenever you are designing your flyer, make sure you give yourself a guard. Okay, guard your work. Okay, let's do this now. If you don't have your ruler bars activated, click on Ctrl R to activate that. Most times I design without even guarding my work, and this is because I've done this and I've mastered this, and I don't want you to feel like you've mastered it. Just guard your work. Okay, so hold on the horizontal ruler, bring it to this side somewhere around here, do the same to this other side somewhere around here, and do the same to this other side. Bring it to somewhere here, that looks cool, and then bring it to this other side somewhere here. So we have been able to guard this work now. So everything we are going to design will be inside this guard. Okay, we are going to design inside this guard. Nothing should go off these lines we have given here. And now let me tell you one thing you should understand about these lines we have made here. Now when you design, after your design is being printed, it is printed in large sheets. Okay, it's printed in large sheets, and after that you take it to where you have the guillotine, where they have to cut it to smaller pieces. Okay, in the process of cutting it, they may mistakenly cut out your text or important information in your design. So what you're going to do is to guard your work so you won't lose important information in your design. Okay, so let's continue from where we stopped. I'm going to bring in the text I have here. First thing first, click on the text layer. So you see we have the textures logo, which I'm going to, the logo is not popping out very well, so I'm going to open up my ellipse to create a circle. Hold shift to create a perfect circle like this, and make sure your fill is at the top and give it a white color. So you click on color, give it white. So you have this white color just here. Next thing you want to do is to press Ctrl left square bracket to send the shape to the back of your logo. Okay, so you can click on horizontal align to center and then reduce this a little. Very good, horizontal align to center. So next thing I'm going to do is to add shadow to the shape. I'm going to click on effect, click on stylize and drop shadow, and I'm going to increase my opacity to 50. Let's see how it looks. Okay, that's cool. Then make sure your blur is 2 pixels, your Y offset is 8, and your X offset is 5. So click on OK. That looks very cool. So this is what we get. Okay, that's just what we get. And click on text because we want to start giving this text. Click on your text tool, or you click on T to activate the text tool, and then type textures. Okay, and textures has a specific font. The brand has a specific font they use, so I'm going to use Africa. Okay, hit on enter, and then you get this. That's the font for textures brand. Then you click on where you have your swatches and click on RGB red. Okay, that's the brand color, and then you're going to bring this to this side, adjust this again so it can be large enough for people to see. You can leave it somewhere around here. Okay, that looks perfect. And then I'm going to type again cyber security company. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to change this other cyber security company to something else like Gotham. Okay, so that's it. So I'm going to bring it down here, make sure they are well aligned, align it with this and bring it down a little. That looks cool and very, very nice. Okay, and I'm going to copy my text, something like that. Copy this. Okay, that's the services they offer. Bring it here with your text tool, click and drag to create a text box, and change the font to let's use Geisha. Okay, Geisha looks cool. Yeah, let's paste that. So you press Ctrl V to paste. You can adjust your text box because everything is looking as if it's too clustery. Okay, it's clustering itself, so you can adjust the leading when you adjust the leading, it spreads out a little. Let's say we leave it at 16. These services are just way too much. Okay, so I'm going to place it around here. Let's reduce the font size to 10. Okay, 10 looks perfect here. Now when designing flyers, the least font you should use should be 10, especially A5 flyers. Anything less than 10, 9 will also be good, but I won't advise you to go anywhere less than 10. Okay, so it can be readable. Okay, so let's type here our services. Yeah, services. Okay, then you can change. Okay, it's already at Gisha. Okay, just increase that. Adjust the tracking to, let's say, 50. Bring it way down here, give it red. Now everything about the text is at the text layer. Okay, so you can bring this here somewhere. There is perfect. Now anything I want to do about shapes, I'll go to my shapes layer. So you click on the shapes layer and let's add something to the shapes layer. Click and hold on your rectangle tool, click and drag to get this rectangle just like that. Hold on this node and convert this to curve like that. Not too much, just like that, but we don't want this. Okay, so you hit on your swap fill and stroke, swap it. Okay, so we have this stroke around, and make sure your stroke width is just 1 point. Okay, so that looks cool. And then this can just be here. Everything is looking clustery, so I'm going to reduce the brand name a little and take it upwards a little. That looks cool. Then I'm going to add some bullet points. I'm going to use circle like ellipse to create some bullet points, and the bullet points should be red. Give it a red color just like that, and hold Alt to duplicate, hold Alt and Shift to duplicate. So you keep doing that again, Alt and Shift. Okay, keep doing that again, Alt and Shift to be on a straight line. Now when you hold Alt and you hold Shift, you remain on a straight line, but when you leave Shift, it does not remain on a straight line. So you hold Shift to be on a straight line like that. So this I think should be here because this is same service with that, and I'm going to do that again for this one. Now I'm using these bullet points to differentiate services. Okay, different services. Okay, you see I made a mistake there, so you do that. So that's just how it works. Alt Shift till you get that done. So at this point, next thing I'm going to do is to bring in other images I have for this flyer, and this is where I'm going to. Okay, I'm going to click on my ellipse, click on the shapes to create this to create this shape. Okay, hold Shift to get a perfect circle like this. Just take it up here. That looks cool. Take it up again, increase that. That looks very cool and very, very nice. Then I'm going to copy, press Ctrl C to copy and press Ctrl F to paste in place. So we have two circles now. So I was able to copy, and that's Ctrl C to copy. You know, we had one circle at first, and when you do Ctrl F, it pastes it on the same place where we had the former circle. So you can change the new circle to white and then hold Alt and reduce that just like that. Okay, so now we have two circles, so you can select both circles here, hold Alt and hold Shift to duplicate. So we have two circles at this point. Okay, we have two good circles. Okay, so that's just what it is. I can as well take this up a little so it overlaps with the shape we have there a little, and then I'm going to click on the very first circle, give it white, and click on effect, click on stylize, drop shadow to give it this shadow just like that. Okay, click on this other one also, give it white, click on effect, click on stylize, drop shadow to get that shadow. So on the main circles inside, you can give it another color so it stands out just like that. So I'm going to bring in the two images. I have, click and drag, bring it to AI, and it opens up just right here. Okay, so I'm going to embed. Okay, click on embed to embed that, and then reduce the image size because it's way too large. Can reduce that, and yeah, bring it to where you have your design here. Reduce that again. Okay, now you can place it just around there. So you click on the very first one and drop it here. Press Ctrl, left square bracket, send it to the back. Now whenever you want to power clip or clip a image with a shape, send it to the back first. So you select the shape and hold shift, select the image, press Ctrl 7 to clip that inside. Do the same to this other image. Okay, let's do that together. Reduce that, hold Ctrl, left square bracket, send it to the back. Once it reaches the back, once you leave, click the shape, hold shift, click the image, press Ctrl 7 to create clipping marks. Now if you don't want to press Ctrl 7 to do that, right click and click on make clipping marks. It's as simple as ABC. Okay, so that's it. At this point we are almost done with our designs. Okay, so let's see what we have got. We've got the shapes layer. Okay, let's hide the shapes. That's good. All the shapes are gone. Okay, let's hide the logo, let's hide the text. Okay, so we have everything just like that. Okay, so that's how it works. Now one thing that is left is the contact details, which I'm going to bring it in just right here. Okay, have the contact for textures. By the way, I need to tell you about textures. Any service you see here, textures are experts for this, so you can patronize them. Good. Okay, okay, so I'm going to space that up. I believe you can do this, so I won't waste my time doing that or showing you how to do that. Change that size to this, something like this. Place it around here. Okay, we don't have to go away from our guide. Okay, then I'm going to create a shape like that, rectangle tool, and create a shape like this, and in that shape I'm going to convert this to curve, something like that. Very good. Hold I, click on I to activate your eyedrop tool or eyedropper tool. Okay, click on where we have this field to get this exact same field here. Okay, and then you're going to click on G to adjust this. Take the black away a little. Okay, that looks cool. Okay, so that's what we get. Control left square bracket to send that to the back. Click on the contact detail and give it white. Okay, so most times you always want to use an icon, okay, for your contact. Okay, let's close this up a little, just one step. Very good. Just one step like that. Then you want to use an icon, so I'm going to open up my social media where I have my icons. I'm going to open it up. Let's see what we can do with that. I'm going to copy my contact detail just right here and bring it to textures, paste it there, reduce the size, bring it just around here, give it a white color. That looks cool. Now everything we are doing here is actually inside the shape layer, so I'm going to take this particular text to the text layer. Okay, I did it in the shape layer, so control right square bracket takes things to the top. Okay, so it can actually go to the top, and then you click, take it to where you have your text and drop, so it has gone to the text layer. Okay, so that's what we have there. Everything about it are the text, the logo, so you can close this up and the shapes just there. Okay, it makes your workflow very easy, and the icon can remain in the shapes layer. So when we off the text, okay, when you toggle to see off the text, see all the text are gone. Okay, that's just that. And then at this point we are very much good to go. You can bring this down a little because it seems so close. Not too bad, not too close, not too away from the guideline. Okay, I guess that's better. Okay, can bring your icon down a little. Okay, Okay, that's cool. Bring the icon down a little. That looks perfect. Okay, so we're going to select everything we have here. Press Ctrl G, and then we're going to align to the center, so it's now at the center. That's just what we get. So at this point we are done with this design, and you might be asking, how do we take off the extra parts of the flyer? First thing first, delete off your guidelines. Okay, so I'll select the outlines and delete them. The guidelines are gone, I don't need them again. So I'm going to I can close my layers panel and then click on my rectangle tool, create this. Now before you do that, group everything, select everything, press Ctrl G to group. Now that everything is grouped, okay, we're going to click on our rectangle tool, create a shape just like that, and just the same thing we did before. Let's give that shape a color. Any random color is good enough. Then you click on align left, align to the top. Then you can adjust this shape to fit the size of our page, of our canvas. That's A5. Good. And once you're done with that, press Ctrl A to select everything, or you can select everything in this artboard just like that, and press Ctrl 7. So once you do that, everything locks itself and you see the whole part of your flyer just like this. And next thing you want to do is to export this design, okay, for print. So this is what we have as our final look for the flyer. Now if you want to learn how to export flyers or export designs in Adobe Illustrator, click on the video on the card. I'll leave a link in the description so you can watch it, and then you know how to export designs in Adobe Illustrator. Sorry about Dennis and CorelDRAW. It's actually a YouTube channel we set aside to teach CorelDRAW specifically. So every video you will see in Dennis and CorelDRAW is actually tutorial videos around CorelDRAW. So if learning CorelDRAW interests you, consider clicking on the link below this video and subscribe to the channel, and you will learn a lot about CorelDRAW. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Click on any of the video on your screen if it interests you. See you in the next one.